Hello everyone and welcome. A couple of weeks ago I did a review of a DCK 20-volt cordless hammer drill and a lot of my viewers really liked it. So I decided to get another tool from DCK to see how they perform. Now, while many other channels out there will test one tool from a given brand and claim that the entire brand is either good or not so good based upon just one experience, I don't like to do that. I prefer to get a few tools from a given company, test them out, and that way I can tell you a little bit more accurately if that brand puts out good tools or not. After all, I do these reviews so you guys don't have to, and I want to be sure to give you accurate information. So I decided to get this 20-volt cordless one-handed reciprocating saw from DCK and see how it performs. From what I saw online, it seems to have a lot of good features, so let's test this guy out in the real world and see how it performs. But before we do that, if you enjoy watching honest tool and product reviews plus helpful DIY projects, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time I produce another product review video or DIY video. Alright, here's a shot of the box for you. There you go, another DCK product. Let's open this guy up and see what it has. Alright guys, when you unbox this puppy, this is everything you get. Now this is the 20-volt cordless one-handed reciprocating saw from DCK, available on Amazon, link in description below. At the time of making this video, this kit retails for $149.99. But they also have a $50 discount coupon on their Amazon page, making it down to about $100. So that's pretty good price right there. And if I happen to find any other discount coupons, I'll be sure to put it in the description down below. So check that out first before you do anything. You might get it even cheaper than that. So what do you get when you unbox this guy? Well, you get the saw itself, get the owner's manual that tells you everything about the saw, how to take care of it, maintain it, clean it, all that kind of good stuff. I suggest you read through that. You get a 2-amp charger. You get a 4-amp-hour lithium-ion rechargeable battery. You get 4 blades that come with it, 2 for steel, PVC, stuff like that, and 2 for wood. And you get a nice, big, 16-inch, well-constructed tool bag. This bag is solid, and it's actually bigger than the one that came with the hammer drill that I reviewed previously, because this one has to accommodate the extra size of the saw. Unlike some other companies that only have like one generic bag where some of the tools don't even fit right, this one they made a different bag for this tool, making it even better. And this bag is really a good tool bag that you can put more stuff than just this in it, because I'll show you in a minute. It's really big and really deep, and it has 6 pockets, 3 on each side, and these are big, deep pockets. It swallows up my entire hand. They're that deep and well made. 16 inches, that's a full-size bag right there. Really good bag. This unit comes with a 2-year warranty, and the dimensions on this unit are 14 inches across, 16 when you put the battery on it, 5 inches in height, and 2.5 in thickness. Now the weight on this unit is 3.9 pounds, which is a good weight. It's a decent weight. It's not too light, not too heavy, somewhere in the middle. Very comfortable to use right there. And this guy has a variable speed trigger that'll give you speeds of anywhere from 0 to 3,000 SPMs, which means that you can adjust it to just about any kind of cutting condition that you need. Let me put the battery in it right there, show you exactly how that works, and you see right there, and it has a nice little LED right here. Now we're looking at it right there. Let me point that up for you. See right there, a nice little LED to light up your work area. If you're in a dark area, that'll help you very nicely right there. It only stays on when you're holding the trigger, but that's not a big deal. That's mostly when you're gonna need it. So you can't use it as a flashlight, but it's not a flashlight. It's a tool. It's a saw. So there you go. And this guy has a brushless motor, which basically gives you a longer tool life and better battery efficiency, which means that you don't have to keep stopping and recharging the battery all the time as you would with a brushed motor. This unit gives you 7/8 inch stroke, and it has an adjustable shoe to it, as you can see right there. And we already talked about the LED light all at the front right there. It also has a tool-free blade change, where basically right here, you don't need a tool to change it. You just grab onto this guy, flip it from side to side, and put the blade in it as you need to, very conveniently, very easily. You don't need anything special to be able to change blades. Means you're up and running quicker whenever you need to change blades. This guy has a cutting depth of 3/5 of an inch when you're cutting metal, 7 inches when cutting wood, and 4 inches we're cutting through PVC pipe. It has a nice convenient overmold, as you can see in the trigger area, the front area here, which you can use it as a one-handed saw or a two-handed saw. That way you get better grip on the back here. On the front you can hold onto the motor. This area here, all of it very nice, convenient right there. Your hands will be nice and comfortable. Whether you're hot, dirty, greasy, sweaty, whatever, you can hang on to this guy and it won't be slipping out of your hand. So this 20-volt cordless reciprocating saw is great for the DIYer or for the professional for cutting wood, metal, or any type of material, especially in cramped and hard to reach areas. This one-handed saw is supposed to have the power of a full-size reciprocating saw, but with less size and bulk to lug around, making it much more versatile than the full-size counterpart. Use it anywhere, anytime. Very convenient right there. So let's do a little bit of cutting, different materials and so forth, and see how this guy performs. But before we start doing some cutting, I wanted to show you a little bit more about the bag and do a little bit of comparison with the saw with other brands and so forth. Here's the bag. I opened it up for you, and you can see what a big, deep bag this guy really is. And it has a nice feature that I like, which I call the big mouth. I don't know what it's technically called, but it has a rigid opening here where it stays open for you the entire time, and it collapses when you don't need it. But when you need it, it stays open, nice and rigid, so you can take stuff in and out of it with no trouble at all. And look at that, the saw fits in there, and you can pack a lot more stuff in there. It is, my entire hand goes down in there. Shows you exactly how much depth you have of all sorts of different tools that you could put in there. I think that's very convenient, not only for carrying the saw and other stuff in there, but as a tool bag all by itself. If you want to keep this somewhere else, you can use this free tool bag right there. You got a lot of stuff you can put in there. So that's very convenient right there, in my opinion. Good quality bag. Now, as far as the saw goes, I know a lot of you guys ask me to do comparisons and so forth. So let me give you a comparison right here as far as size goes with one that I just did not too long ago. The Kima one that I did here, I did a few months ago, and it's also a one-handed 20-volt reciprocating saw. And you can see this one is a lot bigger as far as dimensions go, telling you that there's a bigger motor inside this one than there is over here. And this one is a little bit heavier. This is a little bit more lightweight. So I expect this guy to do a lot better performance than this guy did. This is more of a DIY saw right there. Nothing wrong with it. Perfectly good saw. I've used it for many different projects and it's worked out just fine. But I think this one here takes you to a whole different level. This one can be DIY and probably even professional use right there. So I wouldn't put it past it. But you can see bigger as far as everything goes. The dimensions, the motor, the thickness of it. You can see right there, it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit beefier saw with the DCK. So that's why I like to test out different ones, give you a comparison, and that way you can see what each one looks like. So let's start doing some cutting. All right, guys, so let's start off by doing some wood cutting. I put in the wood blade right there. Like I said, very easy. All you do is turn the collet right there, pop the blade in. You're good to go. Let it go and so forth. One thing I didn't mention earlier is this guy does have a safety switch right there where you see right there, it's off. Turn on the safety switch, trigger doesn't work. So you always have to release it before you're going to use it if you decide to use that. But that's a good thing to use when you put the tool away. That way it can't go off accidentally by just pressing the trigger. Have the battery all charged up. Let's see, let me show you right there. We have a full battery. So let's start doing some cutting and see how that goes. Right here we have a 3/4 inch piece of particle board, and that's what most DIYers, even professionals, are going to run into, whether you're dealing with particle board or strand board or plywood or anything like that. You're going to be cutting through that quite a bit. So let's cut through this piece right here and see how it performs. And there you go. You can see right there, 3/4 inches of particle board. So let's cut some more. And there you go. Cutting angles like this, cutting through circulars and stuff like that makes it a lot harder for the saw to work. So that's why I did that, so you can see how well it performs. Angles are much harder for the saw to do. As you can see, it turns quite easily. Not any trouble with that. Let's move on. All right, so this time let's cut through a 2x4. And this comes off a pallet that I ripped apart. So this is pallet wood. And you know, pallets can be really difficult to cut through. I don't know what kind of wood they use, but they're always really hard, dried out, and difficult to cut through. So here's a piece of a 2x4 right here. Let's cut through this puppy and see how it performs. Here we go. And as you see, I'm using it as a one-handed. I'm not even pushing down on it, and it's cutting through it like a hot knife through butter. There you go, 2x4, cut it no trouble whatsoever. Very, very well done. There you go. Just using my second hand for stability, but it really cut through it without any effort whatsoever. That's a good little saw. Let's move on. All right, let's do something easy. How about a 1-inch PVC pipe right there? And I had a 4-inch, but I couldn't find it. But here we go, 1-inch, nice thick wall to it. That's something that a lot of times you're going to run into, cutting through PVC, plumbing pipe, ABS, all that kind of stuff. Let's cut through this guy and see how it does it. If it can cut through wood, it should be easy enough. I switched over the blade to a PVC or steel blade right there, and we're going to cut through this guy. There you go, no effort at all. And the adjustable shoe comes in really handy since it molds itself to the shape of the pipe and it helps keep it stable. So there you go. That cut through it nice and easy. Let's try cutting some steel. All right, this time we're going to cut through a steel pipe. And I cleaned up the edge here a little bit so you can see a bit better what we're cutting through. So a nice, pretty thick walled piece of steel right there. Let's cut through this pipe and see what it can do. And there you have it. I'm not touching that piece because that's really hot. So there you go. I cut through that with no trouble. Let's do another cut. And there you go. Now that's a good cut right there. Through thick piece of steel, no trouble whatsoever. The saw did a really good job. And in case you're curious, there you go. That's the piece of steel pipe that I cut right now. Nice and thick piece of steel, and I cut through it without any trouble whatsoever. So there you go. Alright guys, there you have it. A review and demonstration of the DCK 20-volt cordless one-handed reciprocating saw. Let me give you some final thoughts. I think this is a great saw for the DIYer and possibly even for the professional. You saw how I cut through everything that I tested it with, and it did it with little to no effort. If you listen to the sound of the motor, you'll hear that the sound was consistent throughout and the motor was not struggling at all. From what I've tested so far, DCK seems to produce top quality tools at affordable prices. For the DIYer, this is a winner. For the professional, I think you may want to look at this less expensive alternative instead of the much more expensive red or yellow brands. Check out their Amazon page for complete details. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye for now.